Hello, Rebecca, 49, and I have young onset Alzheimer's. And I love this question. I think it's a brilliant question, and I've thought about that a whole heck of a lot. I have a lot of trauma. I have so much. Yeah, I struggle with a lot of mental health issues. I have CPTSD, anxiety, depression, and ADHD. And then Alzheimer's, which I feel very special having this one. And so don't be jealous. Kidding, obviously. But I do love this question, and I actually feel very strongly about it. And I do. Yes, I do. I think mental health plays a lot in the role of the diagnosis of dementia or Alzheimer's or any sort of neurocognitive issue. I've been in EMDR therapy, eye movement desensitized blah blah something. I've been in that for 10 years, and I've learned there that you can actually retrain your neural pathways through EMDR, which is essentially there's like an eye movement thing. You're in with a safe person, and you're kind of reliving your trauma, but in a safe place, and that helps rewire your brain to think of your trauma differently, or for it to affect you differently. And I thought it was weird at first because it's a bit kookadoo, but it is actually the only therapy that has ever, I would never say that it's taken my trauma away, but my trauma does not own me anymore. And my trauma owned me my entire life. And I do know that you can create neurotransmitters, different transmitters based on like retraining the way that you speak to yourself. And that's hard. That's like a daily task that you have to like pay attention. You have to be like hyper aware of how you speak to yourself. And I was so sick 16 years ago that I was willing to do whatever I had to do to be better. So I started doing that. I'm in a 12-step program. I was in addiction for, I think, about 4 years. I do think my addiction plays a part as well. Originally, when I first sobered up and I was kind of having weird things going on, they did think that what was going on with my brain was due to the snowflakes that I was consuming back in the day. I didn't have like a super long history of addiction, but when I was using, I used heavily. And so there's just no way in hell that your brain cells are not dying from that. I mean, you can take any sort of like pharmaceutical medication and they say it affects your brain, right? Like, so I'm sure a street drug doesn't help. But yeah, so when I think about CPTSD for myself, I do have a lot of trauma from my childhood, and I did not know I did until probably 7 years ago, which is actually kind of sad that I literally thought I had the best upbringing. Oh, denial and trauma and how we protect ourselves is so cute. Because how would I have even known that? I didn't know when I was out using. I just thought I was a piece of shit. So I was like, yeah, no, I've always been the asshole, in the family. And so I was just playing my role, not knowing that actually I had terrible things happen to me as a child. And so, there's no blame to absolutely anybody. It's just the way it is. And, but learning that I do actually have a lot of trauma, and then learning about the brain, because I'm really like excited and nerdy about like how our brains and emotions are affected. And they say, when you're traumatized as a child, your brain does not develop. Like, that's scientifically proven. Like, your brain does not, and I don't mean like you have to be like verbally or physically abused, like just plain neglect. Your brain as a child does not develop properly. So how could it not impact you later on, right? Especially if you're not doing any of the emotional work that I've been doing, which is a lot. I've worked my ass off. I've been sober 16 years. Sorry. I've been sober for 16 years. I'm in a program, and I work the program like very hard. I do a lot of the work that's required for me to stay sober, and it's not been pretty. It has not been pretty, okay? And so I think stress, chronic stress, when you're in fight, flight, or freeze for years on end. I mean, if our cortisol levels go up, how is that not affecting our brain? I think for sure. 100%. And I have been living my life up here, okay? Like, just like living, like I'm a fighter. And so I got sober. I didn't know I had trauma. And I just went, and so I like lived my life in this like very go get 'em kind of way. And then because your body fails you when you don't properly take care of yourself, my body failed me. And that looked like having, emotional breakdowns or whatever you would call them. I don't even know. To me, they're like, your body is saying fuck off, basically, and you lose it. And I have lost it a few times in my day, and I am so stable now, thank God, but I have had periods of time where I have not taken care of myself and just kept going and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing through, and then collapsing, and that affecting my actual physical health. So I do feel so strongly that my stress, my CPTSD, anxiety, ADHD, and then there's, it's known that ADHD can be derived from your trauma, from your past. It's a neurodegenerative disease, or whatever you call it. There's a word for it, but you guys will tell me. I am curious, though, what you guys think about this, because I think it's like, well, I just love nerdy brain talk, and because my life has changed so drastically from starting the work that I had to do to live in my body in peace, which is not all the time, but I live more in peace now than I ever have. But that took a whole lot of me looking at myself, which was not pretty. It was not easy. It was not fun. I hurt people along the way because I had no idea how to live, and there is a different way to live. And I know that now because I've done the work. And but the thing is, you got to keep the work up. You don't just do the work and then you put it down. You got to keep that work up. And so, yes, I do think that what's going on with me is for sure from my past. I don't think it's solely from that, but I know the way that I've been living, and the way that I have been living is not sustainable. And so I'm at peace. I'm not going to die tomorrow. So, right? So it doesn't really matter. I've come to full acceptance of my past, where I've been, what I've done, and what I need to do to be just like a human and amongst other humans. And I never knew how to do that before. And it took me losing absolutely everything, my brain, to learn how to live, basically. Yeah. Tell me what you think.